Kukai, having leapt over the cage of the young elite, stepped forward into the uncharted wilderness. However, to hack the existing social systems created by humans, doing so with his brain specs at the time, namely, the limited hardware of imperfect human language and cognition, was utterly impossible. What he had to do first was to push his own body and consciousness to their absolute limits, executing a forced crash of human specifications, a massive brain update. To achieve this, Kukai challenged a legendary esoteric ritual feared in the Buddhist community at the time as something that would either drive you mad or kill you halfway through. Kokuzo Gumonji-ho. The objective of this practice was extremely simple, yet insane: to acquire absolute memory and infinite wisdom, never forgetting anything once seen or heard. This was said to be granted as a divine favor of Kokuzo Bosatsu. However, its program far exceeded the limits of human capacity. It demanded chanting a specific mantra 10,000 times a day, without fail, for 100 days, totaling 1 million times. Feeding this unfathomable amount of verbal data into the brain in a monotonous rhythm. Even from the perspective of modern neuroscience, this was an extremely dangerous hacking act designed to overheat specific neural circuits to their absolute limits. Kukai chose as his arena of practice Mikurindo, a dark sea cave in Cape Muroto, Kochi, where the rough waves of the Pacific Ocean crash violently. Facing the southern Pacific, the only things visible from inside this cave were the razor-sharp, menacing rocky cliffs, and the endless sky and sea stretching to the horizon. In this solitary sanctuary, completely sequestered from society, his lonely battle began. Every day, from sunrise to sunset, depriving himself of sleep to the absolute limit, in the pitch darkness cut off from the five senses, he did nothing but chant the mantra of Kokuzo Bosatsu at high speed, Nobo Akia Shagirabaya on Ari Kyamari Bori Sowaka. 10,000 times, 100,000 times, 500,000 times. As the volume of data accumulated, abnormal changes began to occur inside his brain. When an extreme load is continuously applied to the brain, human defense systems kick in. Dopamine and endorphins flood the brain in abnormal bursts, making the eyes blink rapidly and the consciousness turn hazy. This is a dangerous threshold called Markyo, the devil's realm, where one wrong step can lead to a complete collapse of the mind. If one attempts to break through this demon realm relying solely on self-power, Jiriki, they will surely go mad. However, Kukai possessed a powerful anchor, the spirit of great compassion, altruism, refusing to use this power for himself, and a total surrender to the mission bestowed by heaven. The self-power ego, which believed it could think and attain enlightenment through its own effort, was shattered to pieces before the overwhelming scale of the universe. What needed to be destroyed was not the neural pathways of the brain, the hardware, but the cognitive system of the ego, the software, that continuously insists, I, me, myself. The very moment Kukai completely let go of his attachment to self-power, surrendered from the bottom of his soul, and his brain became completely empty. At that exact instant, in the darkness of Cape Muroto, the definitive system hack was triggered. In his writing Songo Shiki, Kukai recorded the event of that moment. As I prayed in my heart within Mikurindo for the manifestation of Kokuzo Bosatsu, the morning star, Venus, flew into my mouth. This is not a mere occult anomaly. It was the exact moment his brain's existing OS crashed completely, and into his emptied vessel, the cosmic external server Kokuzo, the infinite network of wisdom, directly synchronized, booting up the latest OS. From the moment the morning star entered his mouth, his perception of the world transformed entirely. The rustle of the rocks, the roar of the waves, the colors of the sky, all of it flooded into his brain with 100% purity, as the language of the cosmos, the voice of Mother Nature. Realizing the sheer futility of self-power practice, where one struggles with a tiny human brain. He shifted to a way of living directly synchronized with the cosmic OS. Here, a monster capable of hacking reality was born. This miracle experienced by Kukai reminds us of the teaching of absolute other power. Tariki, by Shinran Shonin, another Buddhism saint in Japan. Many misunderstand this as taking it easy and leaving things to others, but the truth is quite the opposite. Absolute other power means surrendering from the depth of one's soul, throwing down the white flag of defeat, realizing that whatever we can achieve with our tiny intellect and effort, self-power, is absolutely zero in the grand scheme of the universe. It is the ultimate state of selflessness, muga, where one completely removes the ego and acts as a pure pipeline for the great flow. However, you must never misunderstand this. Those who do not even struggle with their own effort from the start, but merely ask for conclusions and answers in the name of other power, can never understand this realm. When a butterfly emerges from its chrysalis, if a human lends a hand to tear the shell open, that butterfly may fly for a brief moment, but will soon fall and die. The very process of struggle within the chrysalis, thinking things through to the absolute limit, struggling, and realizing one's own powerlessness, is what grows the strong wings needed to soar into the vast sky filled with the mercy of Kokuzo Bosatsu. By crashing his own limits and shattering the shell of self-power, Kukai fully synchronized with the colossal system of the universe. However, to permanently install this overwhelming other power, not as a temporary system glitch, but as a stable operational system in daily reality, he needed to encounter a true master of esoteric Buddhism. In our next episode, Volume 16, Kukai travels to Tang, China, meets the master of his life, and arrives at the ultimate conclusion, Sokushin Jibutsu, attaining Buddhahood in this body. The journey of true transformation and progress begins.